They are Hot Wheels. They are Transformers. They are both. Yes, I finally got and have been able to review Twin Mill and Bone Shaker, which is the Hot Wheels Transformers crossover that basically gives us vehicles that are robots in disguise, but in classic Hot Wheels forms. Now, these are both Autobots. I've heard that a lot of people think Bone Shaker should have been Decepticon, and I can definitely see that, but at the same time, probably Hot Wheels did not want to be associated with those who want to take over the universe. So I'm going to go through these, but before I go too much further, I do want to thank our sponsor for this video, Toy Hacks. Toy Hacks has amazing decals that can make your G1s and G2s look better, and for the later on Transformers, Combiner Wars and Siege and Titans Returns and Age of the Primes and Studio Series, they can really help you make them look even better. Kind of like this over here. Yeah, I know you've been watching. You've been checking out how cool Onyx Prime is with these new stickers. Plus they have backdrops and an armory. You want to check them out at toyhacks.com. But before that, you should probably check out this video because we are going to break out Bone Shaker and Twin Mill, two Autobots who are pretty hot. Well, in the wheels department. And if you're new to the channel, I'm Captain Kyle. Welcome aboard. If you've been watching for a while, thanks so much for coming back. Very, very cool of you. So let's get into this collaboration and have some fun along the way. Be right back. All right, so these are on cards, as you can see, and they're very nice cards, and they have some nice artwork, and both the Hot Wheels and Transformers logos on the back. You can see them in their alternate forms and in their car forms without any plastic packaging, covering it up. But, obviously we want to see the actual real things. So Mattel, this I would say is probably one of the better collaborations with Mattel, because they put out Hot Wheels. If you're wondering if I'm going to do the Megatron Armor Skeletor, sorry, that is one Mattel crossover with Transformers that I'm probably going to skip out on. Eternia will be mine, and I look like Megatron. No, sorry. But these are really cool. So, because they're on cards, it's not exactly something that I can take out of a box and then put back later, so. And this card is kind of like, I did get them through Amazon, and I'll put a link in the description so you can get them too, if you so decide. But the packaging did not protect the top of Twin Mill's card here, so just as well that I was going to take them out anyway. And the card just peels right off. Now, there's no tech spec or anything like that. It does show, man, they're doing my job. They're showing that he is 5 inches tall in robot mode, which, my whole measuring thing, it's my thing. Sheesh. Well, we'll see how accurate that is. But there is Twin Mill in his vehicle mode, and he looks kind of like a boat car. And he's got two little weapon-type flame thingies. Let's get him out. Oh, instructions. Very nice. And of course, a piece of paper. So we'll put this over here for all recycling purposes. And we'll snip this guy out. And there he is. Gonna zoom in even more so you can see him in all of his vehicular glory. Obviously, because they're in vehicle modes, I'm gonna do the vehicle mode first. And I don't see any measurements on the packaging that says how long he is, so But we do need to get these flame weapon things out. All right, let's take a look at the instructions, because this is gonna tell me where to plug this guy in. Did they put in more than one instruction book? Well, I got a bonus, 2 instruction books. Or instruction sheets. So interesting. If you're missing one, I have it. I'm guessing we only need one. And let's bring over the turntable of doom. And these flame attachments attach. And not the way I thought. I thought there'd be a hole here and this would plug in, but no, there's a hole here and that plugs over that. So the exhaust pipe is partially on fire. That pipe is on fire. Okay. I know I have tortured you with my singing before, and I'll probably do it again, but that's what you get. So, taking a look at him, he's a very cool looking vehicle, has some very cool detailing on the top, looks kind of like torpedo-like, so I am not sure if there's a story behind the whole Twin Mill thing. He's got 2 intakes. I don't know if he's a specific kind of car, to be honest. Hot Wheels, I had a few when I was young, along with, the not to be named other cars that have the initials MB. And no, we're not saying Milton Bradley. But I was never a huge fan. I was more into action figures, for Star Wars, and then of course Transformers. And you can see on the bottom that any mechanic who puts him up on a lift will stare him right in the face. Oh my, right in the face. That's what she said. Since he is in vehicle mode, smooth. I wouldn't expect anything else from a Hot Wheels vehicle. And in vehicle mode, he is, not counting the flames, just shy of 4.5 inches. If you count the flames, he is just about 4 3/4 inches. So he is a cool vehicle. 2 air intakes here to, I guess, not put out flames, but help fuel this speed demon who just sped off my turntable of doom. So yeah, a pretty cool looking vehicle. And we're going to try to take that off, and the entire assembly came off. So I'm wondering if that is meant to come off, because it seems like it is, because it just popped back on easily enough. There he is without his flames, without being a fire hazard. Let's put him into his robot mode. What was cut out and you didn't see was I said let's put him into his vehicle mode, because I'm so used to going from robot mode to vehicle. Never mind. It says do this thing. So there is Twin Mill with his 2 flamethrowers, arm mounted, and yeah. So, you know, if you ask him for a light, he can provide. Now, I have to say he makes a neat looking robot. It does not feel that I can really feel any, you know, die-cast metal, which would have been nice from this. But when you think about it, when it's a collaboration like this, Mattel needs to make money, Hasbro needs to make money, and then there's the cost of the toy. So these have a tendency to go a little bit more expensive than your average Transformer of this size. But since they already said how tall he is, let's see if I agree. And yeah, he is 5 inches tall. So they took part of my job away. But of course, I need to check him out in a few ways. Posability coming up, but of course he's got some pretty good deco, some nice designs on the ab plate. And the front of his legs are very nicely decoed. His chest has some good stuff on there, and even as I spin him around on the turntable of doom, the back of his shoulders has some pretty nice deco. The only thing is his rather hollow legs that you can see in the back. I'm not super thrilled about that. It's not a deal breaker or anything, but it's definitely kind of leaving him with wide open spaces. But let's see here. Does he have ankle swivels? And pretty much, yeah, he's got ankle swivels. He can go pretty far out, not all the way out, but he can do a pretty nice wide stance. So yeah, those turn quite nicely. But of course, the real test, full toes up Jean-Claude Van Damme, not a problem. Now balancing him that way, a little problematic, but he's got these hard flames so you can lean him forward a little bit, and there you go. He stays in that position. Kicking forward, very nice. Kicking back, almost as nice. Side kick, yep. And he can even use both. And his split goes so much that it goes more than the 180 degrees across, so pretty darn flexible. Now, these side panels plug into his legs, and they can come out if you move them around too much. Does he have knees? Well, let's see here. He does have knees, and they're kind of protected, so you can't just kick out a knee. Does he have swiveling? Well, you gotta be careful, because if you grab by this piece, it is going to just unflap. So, but he does have a swivel. If you grab the inner gray part of the leg, you can see that he does have a swivel. Arms all the way around. Oh, twisting at the waist. Yeah, it's actually part of the transformation, so yes. So arms all the way around, bends at the elbow, has a swivel, though with his flamethrower on, you can accidentally knock it off if you swivel too far. Arms go out to the side, shoulders can go up. He can bash himself on the side of the head. The fists also just twist around all the way. And the head can turn all the way around. Now, since it can turn all the way around, I'm just wondering why they didn't just, in his vehicle mode, have his head turned around so it wasn't so obvious he was a robot. But that's, I guess, a choice. I don't know why. So the flamethrowers mount interestingly because they slide on from the side and go over his forearm, but they're pretty easy to dislodge. Well, that one didn't dislodge very easy, but you wiggle it just a little bit and they come off. So just be aware, and you can try to see if there is a way, because he actually is, when he bends at the elbow, he can bend like all the way up. I'm wondering if when you slide it over if you're supposed to leave the elbow slightly bent, or if you're supposed to, they just go over. It looks like there should be some more to it, but not that I can see. But an overall cool looking figure. The fact that these engine intake things just kind of pop off during the transformation is kind of like, it was slightly, when I saw that I was like, I hope he's not a parts former, but that was the only real part that popped off. But yeah, I would say my only complaint is the back of the legs, but you know, if you're looking at them from the front, you won't see that shit. So Twin Bill, and I don't know why they call him Twin Bill, and I would love to know. It's probably written somewhere, and I just haven't read it. It does remind me a little bit of Blurr. All right, he's going to the side. Time for Bone Shaker. Yeah, reminds me of Bonesaw from the Spider-Man movie. You're going nowhere. I got you for 3 minutes. Okay, well, I mean, I hope you stick around for at least 3 minutes. Well, that's what she said. Anyway, so here's Bone Shaker out of his package. Of course, instructions. And one of these days, I'm going to find out that one of these shitty pieces of paper is like a lotto ticket for Hasbro, and I threw out millions of dollars. All right, let's put that aside. Oh, and yeah, he did have very nice packaging. It shows the nice, you know, forms in the back, but I want to get to the real thing. And I didn't look at the back. I'm sure it shows how tall he is. And this time, I only got one. Feel a little gypped. Only one instruction sheet. Oh yeah, he's a hot rod style car. Might want to meet one of the laser rods and hang out and compare their ruddiness. And he's got this Scepter of Doom. I will say not a ton of snipping, so just a little bit of plastic crap for my table. So there he is in his particular vehicle mode as a hot rod with a skull on the front. Yes, I'm gonna get Frank Castle over here. He can drive this around very quickly. So he does not have a roof. He's got 2 seats inside, so that's kind of nice. He's got these exhausts here, intakes. I guess that's what they're called. For a moment, I almost sounded like I knew what I was talking about. And I'm trying to see if there is somewhere for this, basically, Skull Club of Doom. It's got a skull and crossbones on the top. Again, he might have been better off as a actual Decepticon, just because of the whole death motif. But it is a little disappointing that I don't see a place, and it does not show a place to attach this weapon while he is in this mode. So sad. But his length as a vehicle is just shy of 4.5 inches. And he does have nice flame designs on the side. If you look at the bottom of him, you do not see any robot head, so not necessarily giving himself away. Got a little steering wheel in there. So pretty cool looking. Again, just kind of not thrilled that there's not a place for this in his vehicle mode. But he rolls, so you know what that means. It's called a roll test. Smooth. He rolls pretty well. Tries to roll off the turntable of doom. So yeah, that part, pretty nice. Just come on, guys. You've been doing so well with all these Transformers having, you know, some kind of storage for the weapon, and you couldn't figure out some way to attach it? Apparently not according to the instructions. All right, so enough about the car. Let's get to the bot. So there is Bone Shaker with his, I guess you would call it a mace with a skull on it. So definitely a cool looking bot. I will say the instructions confused me a bit because it shows pegs here that are supposed to plug in somewhere over here, and I don't see how they plug in anywhere. Unless I totally messed up the transformation. It's quite possible. It happened before. But no, it looks like I did it according to the instructions. So there he is with his Mace of Doom. Not Mace Windu or Windu. That'd be something a little bit different. So let's see, does he have ankle swivels? Kinda, a little bit. So his feet, or at least his heels, can swing into different directions, so like so. So I don't know if that is supposed to serve as his ankle swivels. As far as the Jean-Claude Van Damme, there you go. He goes full toes up, but toes he has. Jean-Claude Van Damme, and he can wheel from side to side. Kicking forward, decent height. Kicking back, about the same. Side kick, split. Now his split does not go more than the normal 180 degrees, so, but he bends at the knee pretty much all the way over because that's part of the transformation. He does have a swivel on the leg. He also can twist at the waist all the way around, side to side, whatever you want to do. Now, arms-wise, and as I was transforming this, I kind of figured this the case. He cannot go all the way around with the arms. I mean, if you go out to the side, you can twist the arms, not only at the shoulder, but he's got a swivel, and he does bend at the elbow and swivels around, and his bending at the elbow, 90 degrees, not more than that. The hands are not designed to twist. So a little bit lacking in the upper body. He's still a cool looking bot, but the upper body does not have as much as his compatriot, Twin Mill. Bone Shaker can twist his head all the way around. He can look up and nod and look from side to side. Not nearly as much mobility for Twin Mill. I don't think I tested that out, but still a cool looking figure. And if you count from his shoulder pads, he's about 5 inches tall, which it says on the back of the friggin' package. So they're both cool looking bots. He has a little bit of hollowness in the back of his legs. Bone Shaker does, but not nearly as obvious. And his legs seem to stay together a little bit more easily. Like I said, if you go to like, hey, let's twist his leg, you can basically start taking it apart. Luckily, there's not an auto transformation. Now, these are labeled on the packages as Autobots. On the vehicles themselves, I do not see a symbol. So if you want to call Bone Shaker a Decepticon, you don't even need to put on a sticker or a decal. Though you can certainly get one from our sponsor, Toy Hacks, who again, I would like to thank for sponsoring this video. Check them out at toyhacks.com so you can glow up your Transformers and, make your older ones look better. And armory, backdrops, all that kind of stuff. But these guys are fun. They're not quite like core class size. They're like on the lower end of the deluxe class size, but they are cool nonetheless. And again, links in the descriptions for you to purchase these fine figures, these Hot Wheels Transformers, and I'm going into a Shatner again. Somebody stop me. So that's what we have for you today for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. These are definitely some fun guys. And if you're having fun watching these videos, by all means, feel free to subscribe. That would be awesome. And while you are mulling over the crossover between Hot Wheels and Transformers, you can check out this crossover, which is another famous car, is Agent Knight. Worth checking out. And we will see you next time. As always, have fun and good hunting.